All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media, and my name is Judson Powell. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about this little scuffle, argument, whatever you want to call it, between folks that believe that um, black folks were indigenous to what the natives called Turtle Island, what the colonizers called North America, and then eventually the United States uh, of America. So here's the thing with all of that. Um, the thing is that we've got the argument of the people that say we were already here versus the people who say, okay, there was a slave trade. What's funny about the whole situation to me is like just stepping back and listening. What's funny about the whole situation to me is the fact that, hey, they both are true. They both can be true. They can both coexist together. And it puts us, as far as being indigenous people from anywhere on the globe, it puts us in a position, well, put it this way, it just puts us in a good position, right? Because we can make, when we do um, lawsuits, right? Okay, and then there's a doctrine in the law called um, not later advocate, which means that you can put stuff in the lawsuit, but then if it doesn't pan out, hey, don't advocate it, or either advocate it and try to make the other side stipulate to what they'll give you. But there's some other solutions besides us sitting up here fighting on social media. That's ridiculous because they both are true. They both can exist together. They are not mutually exclusive. You know, if one exists, then the other one can. If one can, then the other one can. Can. Right? Positive. We got to think positive about all of this stuff. We really do. And we need to state claims on all of it. The whole thing now is, and the only thing that I can see in is basically two things. It's like vote and get money. And then when you get money, vote for those people that do the most for you. The problem is that we have not held our elected officials accountable. That's the problem. It has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican, Democrat. None of that matters. What matters is accountability to the things that people's constituency need back home where they are. All right. And that's really what being a representative or being in a representative democracy really means. And especially, once again, it's in the name, in the House of Representatives. So especially in the House of Representatives, you would think that there would be a little more give and take, or as they say, reaching across the aisle or whatever you want to call it, right? But it used to be that that's how things went. They would put stuff up, they would argue about it, okay, we'll give you this if, give us that and that. Okay, and they would work out an agreement, just like, that clip. There's a clip of ex-President Ronald Reagan talking about, talking about not letting the federal government run out of money because it makes us look bad. That's important. No matter if you're Democrat or Republican, the Republicans let it happen, Democrats let it happen. Everybody is just like, oh, well, we're not going to put any money for this. But any entitlement programs that are out there, they're trying to either privatize them or do away with them altogether. Now, if you privatize them, then there's no accountability, there's no oversight, there's nobody to really sit up there and watch unless you form another government agency. But then that's what they're saying. Republicans are saying, well, we're against forming more government. We want government to be smaller. But report comes out, what did it say? It said under Trump's administration, spending and deficit spending and all of that was through the roof. So, he added more to the national debt than any president in history. And granted, I will give him the benefit of the doubt on this, is that the money is not really worth what it really used to, what it used to be. So that is problematic. That's real problematic. And then, so we have to think about, okay, what are we doing? What's the strategy? What do we want to do? Because everybody can't just be out there fighting, because then we're not making any steps forward. So we have to be able to communicate with each other on the basic levels. We've got to be able to communicate with each other on the basic levels, and I wrote on my Facebook page talking about how, how we're different, and we're different basically for a reason. The reason why everybody, it would be boring. Like if they just said, okay, we're going to do everybody's going to be Judson Powell. I'd be lucky, but everybody's going to be Judson Powell the third, right? Everybody's going to look like him, dress like him, da 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 da. Well, life would be boring as hell, wouldn't it? Pretty much. So there is a reason for everybody, in the creation. Everybody has a reason. Everybody has a purpose. And that's important to remember. And I've been telling people, that's another thing, I've been telling people, like, float through it. And float through it means, like, there's going to be a whole bunch of BS, but nothing really is going to happen to you. See, that's kind of how you have to, pray and meditate and fast, and whatever it is you do, whatever it is your spiritual prayer, light candles, do whatever, whether it's hoodoo, voodoo, blah, 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 whatever have you, any of the Yoruba, religions, or any of that, right? Do what you do. But just remember that right now, the planets are changing and going through a metamorphosis as, planets start to change houses, and everything is in transition. But when things are in transition, what you have to do is you have to be steadfast and steady and just, float through it. That's how you make it. That's how, that's what the Spirit has downloaded to me, and I can't say that that's, well, and I really shouldn't do it like that. That was wrong. But I should say the Spirit has revealed it to me. Right? All right, y'all still trying to catch that. Okay. But my whole thing is, so we have to realize that there are certain things that have to be talked about, even between us and white folks, our oppressors and our slave masters. And then here's the ugly part that I've been dying to bring up, but I just never have. But it's the fact that they, were so vicious and cruel and maniacal and diabolical and evil that it was like always difficult to even, start a conversation about race or racism. I mean, half of this stuff, King and Kennedy and all of those assassinations, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, the little girls in the bombing, blah, 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 Emmett Till, most of that stuff happened in my lifetime. That's crazy. But people put it like it happened, like, so far back that, that doesn't matter. No. I suffered through Jim Crow in my lifetime. You heard Chris Rock. What did Chris Rock say? It's like 75, all the way up to 1975. I was good and alive. So don't, it's like, don't trip. And they've been pulling it. Look, their playbook, and that's the other funny thing about it, their playbook is exactly the same. And and I got a friend. I have a close friend that's an accountant, and so I'm talking, and so I said to him, I said, you know what? I said, talking about inflation is only the way that rich people hide money. They tell you that it's inflation, but is it really inflation? What's inflated? What is that? And that's what I'm saying. That's some more BS that they made up. I mean, explain it to me. What determines inflation? Okay, so if the price of everything goes up, but who reaps the benefit of that? The manufacturers, the people that's making the products and doing all of that. They're the ones that benefit. The people don't benefit from that. But they tell us, oh, well, we're gonna, they got in fact, I think what the dude was the dude's his last name is Powell. But they sit up there on the wall. We think that it's going to, impact this and impact that and all that kind of stuff. And all that's saying is, look, we gonna withhold giving y'all any money, or the money that we give you, we gonna make it so that you can't make it stretch. And that's already the case. Just like I read this report in California talking about how California is the only state in the United States where the leading cause of homelessness is the inaffordability of housing. That people can't, there are people that are working and are still out on the street. And it's been going on. It's not, and the funny thing about it is, it's not, Republican Party, it's not a Democratic Party thing, it's a people thing. It's a human. We talk about other countries, with all these, heinous, civil rights and, all that kind of stuff, and human rights issues and all that stuff. That's, they're always bringing up that stuff. And then you turn around and it's right in our doorstep, right there. It's right there. So it's a tricky game right now. So just float through it, because everybody is just jockeying for position. And what we got to realize is, with that $1.8 trillion that we possess, then what we have to do is we have to do something that's going to make us show up on the world market. That's going to make us, as a people, is going to make us, something where people say, yeah, okay, they deserve this at the table. And we can't worry about everything that they did to us and blah, 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 blah. We got to draw a line in the sand with a stick, and then we got to say, hey, we're not going to cross that line no more. I'm not going to cross that line anymore. Right? See, because they're not going to do the things that we need them to do in order to facilitate change for us. We got to change us. They don't care about us. We know that. It's been 500 years of them not giving an F about us. Maybe even longer. And there's reasons behind that. I'm not saying, and look, I'm not saying we're totally 100% innocent, but we deserve, at this point in history, we deserve to be treated better, considering all of the things that we have donated to society, to culture, the music, the dance, the everything, the entertainment, the movies, the plays, everything that poetry, everything that we've ever done. We have contributed heavily. Not only that, and then on top of that, that's just the gravy. And you talk about sports, athletics, any of that. That's what I'm saying. We some great people. Now we just gotta believe it. We are the greatest. Truly, we are. So I see the divine in you. I hope you see the divine in me. Right? I love all of y'all. I want y'all to just float through stuff. Don't get caught up in the thing. Live in the moment. Live in the moment. Don't get caught up in going too far ahead or staying too far behind. In fact, don't go behind at all. Anyway, fastest 15 minutes is every time I look up, it's like, oh, it's already up. All right, fast 15 minutes is up. My name is Judson Powell. Like button, just hit like button. And I need subscribers. Y'all tell people thank you. They done shadow banned me half the way.